Maybe it's a trailer.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is a scene for the werewolf venue. Yes, we're just werewolves this evening. Um, this is a scene that is taking place on the Sept as Athena's might makes her way through the Sept. This is there is lost my train of thought. There's a heaviness in her footsteps as she's looking for someone in particular. She is has a seems like she has a weight on her shoulder, and old habits die hard as sometimes there's only certain ways to deal with things. So with this, Athena will be seeking out Travis Moran.
The Athena will find Travis with Leah, actually. They're
Oh,
in the where do she be? In front of Yana Castle, maybe? Doing
all right, sweet. Um, Good evening, both of you.
uh, Grandma. Hello, welcome. Please sit with us.
Hello.
Do you want me to bring something on the side?
No, actually, with that, she looks at you and I need to speak with you.
Oh, please.
And
He just gets up like
um her eyes glance over to her granddaughter and she says, if we could walk and talk, that would be best.
he just you know looks at her and says, "Oh, okay, Raya, no problem. Let's walk."
Okay, it's really up to Leah if she decides to follow or not. She's not stopping you, but
Well,
yeah, there,
who did the invitation seem to be to? Just to Travis, probably, right?
yeah.
That's what I'm trying to understand the implications of it. It's Garo business then. That's how Leah's mindset works.
Mhm.
So, um, I mean, it seems obvious what the topic will be. She'll probably follow, but respectful distance behind. So at least if
Okay.
something happens, she'll see. But she's not going to be close enough to hear.
Okay. I suppose anyone who wants to get in on the scene will see Athena's might walking beside Travis with a brisk pace. Not really trying to, outrun one another, but there's definitely a purpose with the stride. Um she looks at you. I don't I have a lot of concerns. And with these concerns, I have to do what's best. And Travis, where do you see yourself in? We can't usually do 5 years because most crew will be dead in 5 years. Let's just say the next 5 weeks, 5 months. How's that? That's fair, right?
I don't understand what you mean, Raya. Next 5 months,
Where do you see yourself as a guru?
I am trying to see myself survive and as an Azrael still. I would like Teeth of Titanium to take the position of warder and myself to be a Vervo. I probably have planning to cast out some financial problems, and after they're done, I would like to marry with Leah.
She shakes her head. What about Leah?
Leah, I already proposed to her. She
Hmm.
accepted, and she knows that she has the freedom that she wants. I don't understand this. No, he doesn't say it. He says, I see myself as happy with Leah. I was always happy with Leah, so I hope that I will continue being happy with Leah. I will continue making her happy, I hope.
She shakes her head and approval. Travis, the unconquered son, that's what they call you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unconquered son, I find you to be unfit. As she looks at you.
He looks.
And with you and your position as Leah's mate,
Mm-hmm.
she shakes her head and I don't approve.
Okay.
And the reason I don't approve, as she takes a breath, is I saw my granddaughter in quite a state, one that I wasn't prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that I maybe over reacted, and then as I sat and I thought and I talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
I realized reactions were part of a justification, if you will. And what this all boils down to is that
You're challenging me for Leah.
not necessarily challenging euphoria. I want to see what you're made of in a real way in
Okay.
order for it to sit well in my spirit. And I have nothing against you. I don't. But at the end of the day, I owe it to my daughter and my granddaughter to make sure you're the best choice.
He still listens. He doesn't say anything.
And it's a challenge, yes. But I also know that my granddaughter, she is more of my daughter to be frank, but she's going to do what she's going to do. So me forcefully taking her away is not going to solve anything. But I need to be sure. And this challenge will most likely be a deciding one.
He still listens.
You will probably lose your life, she says bluntly.
He just looks at her. Doesn't say anything. Again, listens.
As it is, Morningkill seems to be a bit preoccupied. So I go to your discretion since I'm the one that challenged you. We need a file of docs to adjudicate.
Your challenge is you have 1 week, Raya, to convince Leah that I'm not unfit for her. If you convince her, I have no problem. You can take whatever you can take her, do what you want. I did not claim Leah. Leah claimed me. I told her that I love her. She said I saw you as my mate. And if you want to take that, you can take my life, take my clave, kill me.
I understand your
challenge.
words, and I understand what you're saying, but this has to be done in front of a file of docs.
Yeah, you can write the file docs. That's my challenge. If you want to handle this with, I don't know, in a way that I'm not gonna do anything. You can kill me right now. But know that I don't understand why you think I'm unfit. But you can have your thoughts about me. But I'm sorry, Raya. But for me, what Leah says is the most important thing in this world. If she says, I already promised her if she doesn't want me, I will take my claim back. When I offered her the hand of marriage, she asked me that what if we break up? You will be still claiming me, and I promised her that day that if she breaks up with me, I will let her go. Same here again. For me to not want Leah anymore, I need Leah to tell me I don't want you. And he looks around for a Philodox.
You know, over time, Olaf has wondered about his place in the universe. He's looked at the ground, he's listened to the wind, he's gazed at the stars, and he's wondered, why is my life like this?
That's hilarious.
And this situation...
Several reasons. The stars only have a vague influence.
Yeah. This situation, as he's contemplating his place in the world within eyesight, is only going to get deeper because I imagine Travis is calling to him.
Yeah, he's like you see him and you understand he needs you there.
And, remind me, are we in a warded part of the Sept?
We are near the Fianna Castle, like, as far as I know.
I assume we are. Because otherwise we got police crawling up our ass right now.
Yeah, that was my main question. Is there this giant, obvious police presence?
He is on the pathways, but not here.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, but there's still the possible threat that, like, Barney Fife or whomever could wander by. So he comes right up, but given that, yes, a mortal could literally just stumble near Belvedere Castle, he does not go into lupus, because that would be insane. Instead, he tries to more subtly bare his throat, considering that he's standing in front of an Athro and an Elder. To most people, it's looking like he's going to stretch his neck, but two studied eyes, such as what he's facing, will understand what he is doing.
Olaf, thank you for coming here. The Athena's Might Black Fury, Elder of the Room, has challenged me for Leah Kryptos. And I gave her challenge that she has 1 week to convince Leah that I am unfit for her, and tells Travis that he is she needs to tell my face that she doesn't want me anymore. Do you think this is a challenge? Fair challenge?
Honorayas, allow me to try to reiterate this to make sure I have a full understanding. The nature of your challenge is a test of the bond between yourself and Leah Krikos, yes?
As Araya has told me that I am unfit for her granddaughter, and she challenged me for the claim. So I gave her the challenge of, as what I just said.
And he looks to Leah's dear grandmother, Raya. Do you accept the terms of Sol Invictus, Raya?
She looks at you and she studies you for a bit. Olaf, make for me an intelligence Garula. You can add your dots and law if you have it.
Okay, cool. Allow me to stare at my blue booking for a second to make sure I don't mess this roll up. I get it's very rare that I get to roll law, actually. Okay, 3 intelligence, 2 law, 2 Gru lore. Let's do this. What was the difficulty for my edification?
Standard.
Okay, so in that case, 5 successes.
The reason why she's looking at you like that is that since you are currently the Philodox here, if you find issue with anything that's being said, it's within your right and in your power to say no.
Okay. Well, his mind kind of goes through a few turnings.
You basically have the final say.
Also, before everybody, makes a decision, Travis looks at Olaf and says, Callie, when I first talked with her about claiming Leah, and Leah talked about the thing happened between them. Callie said to Leah once that Leah makes her own decisions. This is not about my claim, this is about what Leah wants. If she doesn't want me, she doesn't want me. This is not about my claim, Raya. This is about what Leah wants. If the moment Leah doesn't want me, I'm not going to be there anymore. That's how much I love her.
Olaf, give me a perception empathy.
Okay.
Actually, the group present, do that for me.
I'm just gonna mention that Leah's creeping closer because as soon as she sees Olaf walking up, she's definitely more interested.
I have one
So
success.
she's creeping closer, so she's gonna catch some of this.
Just the one.
Maeve has looked up from her book and is kind of peering, so... Damn. Well, 4 still.
Sketch, 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 sketch. Time for a new scene in the collection.
Alright, for anyone that
Not too bad.
got 1 success,
Actually, 5 card.
anybody that got 1 success, she's upset. But it's not like an angry upset, it's a profound sadness. Did anybody get 2?
2 successes of drawing, 2 successes of the empathy.
Alright, for a person with 2 successes and the sadness to you is more pronounced and more vivid, as in there's definitely a hurting that's taking place.
Ooh, can I add my empathy successes to my drawing successes?
Sure can.
Thank you.
3 successes. Maeve is not a normal kind. Everything that everyone else got, but it's not a normal type of sadness. It seems really off.
Oh boy.
Also, Ryan, Leah has to make the also Olaf. Leah has to make the decision by herself. Everybody can talk to her, everybody can persuade her with a decision, but just persuasion.
I understand that.
I add one addendum. During this week, when people speak with the Akrikos on the topic of her love for Travis Moran Raya, there will be no use of any gift or any talon commonly used to create persuasions. This decision must come from the force of Leah's heart alone.
Olaf, give me a. Does anyone actually in the middle of this? In the middle of this, speak up about what they are seeing and or feeling.
Well, this one over here, certainly not speaking, but expressing himself with his pen and paper. Excuse me, pencil and paper.
Maeve is mumbling to Lucas, but she's not intervening in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what are you mumbling?
Alright.
Guess it'll be in the side chat. No problems.
I can do it in main chat if you want me to fill some time here, or fill some space.
Oh yeah,
The
definitely. Let's do that.
longer you look at her, the more distant she's looking.
Katie, you,
Yep.
me, aside, now.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
aside from all this confusion, this conversation, what is currently going on, we have Maeve and Lucas whispering to each other. And Maeve says,
She's off. Like, something's wrong off. I mean, you were there when we talked to her earlier, but look at her. She looks like she's practically leaving her body.
You see Lucas's drawing of the current situation. Olaf and Travis and Leah off to the side are pretty much sketched out very, very roughly. It seems like another 2 runs on it would actually be more preferable. Hasn't even done the shading, but his entire focus has actually been on Melpomene. You can see the features slightly exaggerated. There's a darkness just underneath her eyes. There's a distance there. There's a, well, as it was described, a profound sadness on her face. And she doesn't have legs. She drifts. You can see that the sketch of her legs goes ahead and ends much more in fading as you realize that Lucas has done this very purposefully. He has gone ahead and made her more of a ghost in this picture.
Like, is something wrong? Like, is this something I just don't know about?
He goes ahead and nods his head.
What is it?
Anthony, with the previous roll, would you give me the idea of Harano.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea,
Absolutely.
not the application here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lucas is going to go
Absolutely.
ahead and take a sheet of paper. Go ahead and make a few notes. Deep depression, deep distance, all in a sheet of paper. Spiritual depression, loneliness. Never use this word, Harano.
Does Olaf need to know?
He goes ahead and nods his head.
So she'll
Grabs you by the collar of your arm sleeve, that
Mhm.
long flowing dress. Goes ahead and looks at you. Subtle, very subtle.
So
And then
she'll
she take
pause
off.
and think for a second, but she'll go ahead and nod and hop up. And she'll approach slowly as she did before when she met the same kindly grandmother. And as before, will essentially bob her head in a curtsy, both in a way that bears throat and as just a more normal looking motion of respect. And she'll come up alongside Olaf as she does so, and kind of glance up and go, Raya, I hope I'm not interrupting, but may I ask you something? It'll only take a second.
Choose your words carefully, ma'am.
And she'll actually back a couple of steps to try to pull him away from the other two a little bit.
Honored Reyes, a moment. And he comes very close to Mame. Sorry, I had to put on a bit of a show. What is it?
And she'll kind of beckon him down and get up on her tiptoes so that she can murmur straight into his ear to avoid being
All
overheard.
right, text that out. But as you're doing that, who's by Melpomene right now?
I've been moving continuously closer.
Travis
So I'm
is looking
assuming
at her like,
pretty close by now, enough to start getting a hint of what's really happening here.
All right, give me perception alertness.
I'm gonna send you a PM. It's gonna be one word.
Nope, 0.
Wow.
nope,
Okay.
I don't see shit as well.
Unless you give me lower difficulty, but no. Other than that, no.
Amusha, you gonna roll? Do you need somebody to roll for you?
I rolled, I failed.
Leah, did you roll?
Yeah, I have 0, but unless you give me lower difficulty, because I know her,
Um,
then I'll get 1.
there is the beginnings of maybe it could resemble a tear. Not too sure. You're not sure if she's scowling or crying or starting or you're not sure if it's a scowl or if she's like crying about something.
Okay. Well, Leah's willing to take the risk on that because that's her grandma. And despite everything, she's going to walk up to her and kind of put her arm around her and pull her closer and just kind of whisper in her ear and just be like, what are you guys doing?
She becomes really rigid and you've never really felt this coldness off of her, but she seems very detached. And as you touch her, her eyes sort of dilate a bit, and as if you see somebody with like a vacant stare, like they're not really there but kind of there. Um, tears start streaming down her face, It's all very weird. And she hasn't said anything.
He's just going to stay right there, actually, or actually just kind of pull her into an actual hug, because this worries her. The whole thing friggin' worries her. Even if she's not responding, she's just going to, like, hug her. Keep in mind, Leah did not hear most of the early part of this conversation.
Not really. I mean, you're like hugging her and you're like trying to like shake her back, but there's like almost a listlessness almost.
She's kind of looking at Travis over the shoulder, just like,
And
kind of trying to send a message. What's wrong?
after
Travis,
a couple whispered words, Maeve is going to step back from Olaf and nod to him, and again, very politely fall into a curtsy, especially for the elder. And she will back off some. She stays closer now than she was.
When you curtsy in front of the elder, you notice that there are streams of tears down her face and her eyes have kind of dilated and she is slack.
Can I do something like...
Actually, yeah, can I have
Is
a
there any-
medicine roll?
I was going to say, is there any sort of roll that I can make to determine the best course of action with the empathy and whatnot that I've got?
I just want medicine. That's honestly what I want.
Okay, does Leah possess Garula?
Yes, at 2.
That intelligence Garula would be the only thing that would help here.
give me that knowledge.
Can-
Give me that knowledge.
Can I make any sort of roll to determine how to respond to her, like whether to run up and offer her my arms, or if there's something in particular I should be doing to react?
It's one of those things where you know what's happening or you don't.
Oh, I know what it is. I just don't know how to react.
Yeah, it's kind of that's the way you're supposed to feel, kind of like.
Very well.
All right, well, I got 4, so I might know something.
Yeah. It seems that your grandmother has slipped into Harano.
Oh God, she's dealt with Kelly like that for the longest time. She should have had easier difficulty because of that. Ugh. Runs in the family, guys. Sorry.
Then I will try to charisma expression, I guess. Offer assistance, offer help, offer...
Olaf places a heavy hand on Maeve's shoulder.
She'll
Does
glance up.
she try to resist in any way?
No. She'll pause the second he puts a hand on her shoulder.
And he looks at Leah, who he damn well knows is going to do what she wants. But most of his attention is focused on Leah's grandmother as he studies her and rolls the knowledge whispered in his ear all around his head. And he looks at Travis, looks at all the parties concerned, really. Raya, he addresses Leah's grandmama. May I approach?
She, like I said before, she has gone slack. Like, she is checked out, for a better word. She is standing there, but she is not there.
That answers... That is a perfect answer for Olaf. Perfect answer. And he looks at Travis. Raya, there is no way that I can bless a challenge under the current circumstances. from either direction.
You mean the challenge is unfair or something else?
I don't know what you guys are discussing here, but she's in no state to be dealing with the challenge.
You know, in a get Sept, this would have been cause for Olaf to get snappish, but he's learned things like compassion and not being a psychotic monster. So he just glances back at Leah and looks back at Travis. I won't say it aloud, but I believe you can see why for yourself. Were I to bless a challenge here and now,
Leah's
it would
looking for a
be the
bench.
most unjust thing I've done in a long time.
Is there a bench anywhere near where we're at?
Excuse me?
Is there a bench anywhere near here?
Sure.
She's going to try to guide her grandmother over to somewhere to sit.
Yeah, you guys are near a tourism landmark in Central Park. I'm guessing yes.
Yeah, she's going to attempt to guide her to at least sit her down. So she's less likely to fall because she's not paying attention while standing.
And as you sit her down, you feel her start to shake, weep profusely, and let out a cry you haven't heard from your grandmother ever, as she just kind of curls into a ball and just starts weeping profusely.
Unless
Sits,
Olaf holds very tightly, Maeve's gonna shake his hand off and go running to her.
like
Yeah,
Travis.
Actually,
He's right
what
there.
he does, instead of like clamping down on Mabe, he looks at the two, one who is probably going to go Fianna when she makes her right, and one who is Sol Invictus, Fianna of legend. Go ahead.
Not a legend.
No, tell that to the Cleoth, man.
Yeah, she's like pretty much just trying to stay right with her. Like, if she's curled up in a ball, you can't like hug her, but like I can certainly keep my hand right there and just kind of talk to her soothingly.
Go
Like-
and help her come together as a family. I will not bless this challenge.
Travis also goes near her and like sits near her. Like he's trying to help her, is just being there and trying to understand her. And like he doesn't do anything that she would, like literally just like look at him and say no, because like they stay in their house for a few days, so he knows kind of what she would say no on this. So yeah, kind of sort of yeah.
Maeve is going to close that distance rapidly. She tears off towards the bench. And you'd be amazed how well you can hug someone who's curled in on themselves, especially if she's sitting, which means that she can't exactly like get her legs up into her arms or cover them. And she expresses an intense kind of sympathy and puts her arms around her and presses her head against her own arms, which are probably curled up to her body, and just pleads with her, please don't cry, grandmother.
Leah's staring at this Fiona chick she's met like once or twice. Like, what are you doing with my grandmother, kind of thing. But at the same time, this is a Garu, so she's trying not to be rude.
Are we
like,
really going to argue over the
Maeve at
grandmother?
this point is not paying much attention to Leah. She's completely focused on trying to.
Well, Leah's already there.
center
Like,
her.
Leah's right there.
Oh,
so
I know. I know.
Alright, so
I'm just saying, she's at this point has her face pressed in, so
Here's
she's.
what we need to do. We need to do social initiative now.
I was already
Ready
there.
to roll a
so-
d10 and add your manipulation wits rating. Go.
no. We'll just do it like this. Since we'll do it in
Okay, she
order.
looks at
Since
me.
Leah was there first, she's kind of there first, and Maeve, you guys can kind of deal with it.
No, I understand. She's there and she's looking at me funny, but she's sitting next to her, so she's not like physically
You guys
barring
trying to
her.
fight about who's like comforting
No.
Melpomene right now? We can totally do
No,
that.
it's
But
Like I said, she totally does it.
Leah
That's
just has
cool.
opinions about it.
okay.
Leah has opinions, but she's not going to like say them at this exact moment.
Yeah, she can totally ball me out later. No, I'm just saying that she does it. It's cool. Maeve is totally focused right now on trying to get the Elder to resurface a little, so she's missing it, is the thing. It's not that it's not happening or she's purposely not paying attention. It's just kind of flying over her head right now.
Okay.
I am sure Leah will get her later.
As you two are both closer, she is mumbling to herself, and Leah, give me a flat intelligence.
2.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Sh- she is, as you kind of start listening to her sobbing and kind of rocking back and forth in this ball, this heap, you see her, she's recounting tales in her life. It's almost as if the stress was too much and it broke her. And she's like, she keeps in different variations of Greek and English. It's just like, I'm sorry, I failed, I fucked up, and different variations of it.
Is it clear who she's talking to?
No.
At this moment, I believe Lucas is going to detach himself in the conversation he was having with Garrett, because he's suddenly got an idea. Rest is over. Looks at all. Dear eyes, excuse me for a moment. Looks at Maeve. Maeve, please, 1 second.
She'll glance up, but look very confused about the idea of detaching at this point. Will he insist?
So he's going to stand there for a few seconds, looking at you, wide-eyed.
She'll pause a second as if she's really not sure, and then finally very carefully unwind and stand herself up, but keep a hand on the elder's knee for the moment at least, to take a more childish approach, hopefully appealing to her as a grandmother. But she'll kind of step as far as she can and lean over to listen.
I'm going to go ahead and say quite plainly, do you have any way of getting in contact with my tribe mate right now?
And she'll think about it a second. And actually, yeah, that's the thing. Let me check and see if she's on right now.
Oh, she is certainly not on.
Oh, well, shit. I could send a dove. Oh, shit, doves.
Cubs, get over here.
And they're going to get dragged over to the Den Father. Substitute Den Father.
Garrett will approach Olaf and the cubs when he sees that he called them over.
I've seen that look between you two before. What are you planning?
The doves, they'll calm her down.
Ren's dealt with this before.
Oh.
I will tell you this right now before you go making pacts with spirits. You could summon every dove in this entire sept, and it would not do a thing. Neither of you understand the term Harano. This must be handled delicately. Now, if you'll excuse me for a moment,
Listen
I believe
to
I
Lucas.
need to commune with my pack, which includes Ren, who is far more equipped than I.
Gotcha.
They're all on the same wavelength. It's wonderful.
Yeah, we're all on this wavelength. Like, we're all like, what are we going to do? And it all goes through it.
Then
Ren.
Maeve will, with that, run back over. And she'll essentially end up kneeling in front of the elder, and kind of as a child hugs her grandmother, she will be on her knees in front of her and stretching her arms out to essentially put them around her middle and continue to essentially exude sympathy and understanding and essentially a desire to just anything to see her stop crying. Anything. It's like a childish appeal.
I'm gonna say by
This
now
is what
that
I
Leah
can
probably.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was gonna say by now she probably has her grandmother's head in her lap, and she's just kind of stroking her hair,
Mm,
and still just kind of listening, and she's just trying to just be there. That's all she's trying to do.
okay. Would I imagine that this is the huddle right before the snap with Olaf, Maeve, Garrett, and Lucas? They all just snap at the same collision. Emotional support. Go! And
Emotional support, go. What are we gonna do? You have a clocked out elder. Time is now.
Lucas is going to go ahead and look to Olaf because he's like the ranking Philodox, not necessarily mental health expert, but definitely the ranking Philodox here. He simply says, perhaps it's best to go ahead and seclude our dear grandmother for a little bit and keep a watch on her before we can provide comfort and aid to her. Does that sound reasonable? Good idea?
Sounds perfectly reasonable. Any glances
Actually,
towards...
once
okay.
you guys, just to give you guys a little bit of help because I see that you're kind of scrambling. Leah and I guess Maeve, give me intelligence medicine.
Ugh.
I wanted to do that earlier. You said no.
I'm also there
But
as
you
well.
had to get some point. God damn it!
I'm like, but
I
I
have one success. I have one medicine. Yeah.
I have 0 medicine,
3.
so I've got 1.
There's like a system. You can't like cut somebody open before you know what's wrong with
Yes,
them.
I
Stop
can. I can do
that.
I'm in nurse training. Damn it.
Hooray! So you know not to cut people open after you examine them.
But I want to cut them open. Damn it, I want to.
Alright,
Hey.
so you know that a person with depression, if you can get them away from whatever it is that triggered them, away from the stimulus, then you could probably bring them back. But if too much and a lot is going on at the same time, it's not gonna work. Because like she is kind of in her head right now, and what you need to do is bring her out of her head.
Is it fucking me? You know, like the problem?
It could be both of you, debatably.
Mm-hmm.
Leah wasn't even talking at the time it happened. She was
Oh,
all the
I
way back
know, but the subject matter, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean I was involved.
It means that you are the subject over which she is stressing.
Yep.
I understood. Okay? I got it. What Leah's response to this would be, because I don't think she would ever imagine herself being the cause. That's the problem here. So she's maybe if we get her someplace else that's not like this.
You could take her to the Black Fury part of the Sept.
This is a good idea. Let's take her to the Black Fury part of the Sept. I didn't even know there was a Black Fury part of the Sept.
Is any of this communicated to Olaf in any way, shape, or form?
I said it out loud.
Okay.
So
Whoever heard it.
Maeve will echo it for her just in case he doesn't hear and says, we need to move her.
That you do. Lucas, come here.
Goes over there.
You're not going to enter that part of the Sept and escape with your life. Women only.
So
Is it-
Maeve will
that's
offer to take one side if Leah's probably taking the other.
Yeah. That seems fair. That seems like it'd be a comforting place for her as well. And they will kind of glance at Travis as she's doing this, and she'll just be like, I'll text you when I know something.
He knows.
And so,
And I
it is
suppose-
a magical journey. Oh, sorry.
Magical journey.
I didn't mean to jump in the middle there.
Nah, I was just going to say, I guess they're going to take her away.
Yep. Trottle, trottle, trottle.
So they're walking away. The grandmother, Maeve, Leah are walking away. I'm going to assume Travis is still over there. I'm going to assume that Olaf and Garrett are still there as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
fair enough.
Mhm.
I was going to make a quick little quip, but that time has already passed. Alright then. Lucas is going to go ahead and watch as they go ahead and leave. Make a few mental notes on some things he wants to do tonight. This was exciting, but definitely not his bag. He's probably going to start to walk away.
Oh dear, Lucas.
Yes?
Come here.
He walks over there.
Do I have to explain to you the importance that you simply return to your cabin and spend your evening in peace?
I can definitely do that. I have no plans of doing anything else tonight, Raya.
Because, and I say this with your best interests in mind, you are a good scout, at least for a start. Theirs is better. If you try to sneak into there, they will find you, and I will not be held responsible for what they do to you.
I have no plans of walking into that powder keg. I have talked to their scout. He spotted me. He's very, very skilled.
And a man to whom I owe my well-being, so I really don't want to leave a bad taste in his mouth. Head back to your cabin.
Give him some credit, Olaf. He
Credit
was
will
the
come.
reason. He was
Go
the
ahead.
reason that this didn't get out of hand, and you issuing a very, very bad challenge.
He rolls that around in his head for a while. The people who know him well can tell he's been getting more grumbly, growly, less uncly. But, you know, Garrett has a way of making Olaf listen.
Mhm.
All right.
Credit comes after the job is done.
Indeed. And I tell you what, you show me now that you can listen to me and obey me straight away. Well, as what you are, definitely proven yourself. My words came from past transgressions. Now is the time to make it right.
I'll make it right, Olaf. Just like you make it right, Olaf.
All right, away with you.
And he does away. Away, away. The cub goes to his cabin.
And he glances at Garrett. You know, I used to have to trust Ren to rein me in, but you're doing one hell of a job.
That's why I'm here.
Fucking huzzah.
Fucking huzzah.
And I assume basically everyone else involved is cleared out of here by now. Unless I'm wrong?
No, I have no surprise NPC. Victoria's not coming to kill anyone. I think we're good here.
Okay, cool. At which point, like, two of the shadiest looking guys in the Sept probably don't want to be hanging out by Belvedere Castle in the middle of the night. So,
Travis was still standing there, but like,
yeah.
he was just like looking around.
It's about time that these fair people not be near Belvedere Castle in the middle of the night.
Do you want to close this and go to another scene?
You guys, just keep me abreast on what you do, but as of right now, she's functional in the as much as she can, like, she's walking, she can use the bathroom, she's not like inept, but like as far as conversations and like conversing with people, nah. None of that's happening.
All right. Well then, would you like to close us out, I guess?
Sure can, with the assembled guru looking at an elder who has probably fought way too many battles, seen way too many things, and just lived a life that is probably extremely, if not the hardest thing, um, emotionally breaks in front of her in a Sept, alien to her, as she flashes back to her life and her numerous failures as she sees them. We see one known as Athena's might slip into her on And with that, we will end our scene with the guru looking to figure out what they will do and how they will do it. This has been a scene for the werewolf venue. Good evening.